Hello everybody, this is Nalus Geek, and we have the review for the 7th Watchmen episode. And to recap some of the stuff I've said about the series up now, there are two kinds of episode in the Watchmen in the 2019 HBO series. There are the Angelo episodes and the good episodes. And episode 7 is an Angela episode. I know I was not expecting much, but as I've said previously, this series really has a way of fixing stuff that look odd in previous episodes. So this was the Angela origin story episode, and I was hoping that would be a good one. And it broke me. It's not that much about the episode itself, it's about one specific thing that happens at the end of this episode that I didn't like at all, and I was like, bugger it. And I really didn't want to make a video that much about it because I would have lost, because I was not enraged, I was disappointed. So let's get to the episode. We'll talk about the finale later in this video. I want to get the viewers who might want to be spoiled about the plot twist in the end to be able to watch some of it. So in this episode we have the origin story of Angela, how she grew up in Vietnam, how she lost her parents, and we also have some more exploration of Lady Trio. The little Angela part was very good. I liked it. Angela had a really interesting story, in my opinion. I really like the little girl Angela and her problems, and the way the American-occupied Vietnam is presented in this episode. It really adds to the world building, and it does something that this Watchmen series did very well, building a world based on Alan Moore's comic while expanding it and offering us another perspective to it. Maybe perspectives that Alan Moore himself thought they were just side notes, and that's really what I like about it. It's building up the world, and it sort of respects it in that way. There is this puppet theater with a giant Dr. Manhattan coming and conquer Vietnam, which was a panel in the original comic book as far as I remember. And here, it's a big part of this episode, and the whole series does that. The expansion of the world, and even focuses on an aspect of Watchmen that the very British Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, those two amazing gentlemen and extremely talented creators, never thought about, because they don't get the intricacies of race in America. However, there is the modern Angela episode, and I've said before, Angela is the weakest link in this series because she's the much of an audience stand-in, meaning that she's a character who is there to just link the various interesting characters together and offer the viewer an exploration of the story. And I was hoping they were about to do something interesting with her and make her reach her potential, and they did not. We have a very subtle scene of Ozymandias. Well, it's not exactly subtle, it's more weirdness thrown in there. I really like Jeremy Irons, and he's not hamming it up in his scene in this episode, which is waste, in my opinion, because Jaime Ozymandias is what I love more about this episode. Jaime Ozymandias, the American Hero Story series, and the parts of it are also my favorite, and Laurie is also one of my favorite characters. And there is some, in this episode, has a very goofy scene. So yes, it's the spoiler time, so spoiler warning. I'm going into the revelations about this episode, so you haven't watched it yet, or if you plan to binge watch these episodes when the series is done, which I would suggest at this point, because I think the whole will be better than the parts, and many of the stuff that sound very weird, and I had this conversation this weekend with some other people who haven't watched this channel, and they said, we love the show, but yeah, some things looked very odd in the beginning. All the things that seem odd in the beginning will make sense eventually. And so we have Laurie. She visits Don Johnson's wife, and she pulls a trap with a trapdoor, letting her fall from the chair. It's a very goofy scene. It's a very cartoonish scene. I laughed at that. There is this also very goofy scene where little Angela's grandma comes to get her from Vietnam. She put her in a cab and wants to take her back home to Oklahoma, and then she has a heart attack. I was laughing at that, and I'm not sure that was the point of it. These were two very goofy scenes. We learned some interesting stuff about the lore. We learned that the master plan behind the 7th Cavalry is that they want to trap Dr. Manhattan. We also learn that Lady Trio is Ozymandias' daughter, and she plans to rescue him from wherever Dr. Manhattan put him in prison. It's either the moon or Mars, I'm not sure. But yes, the castle is definitely the castle he was building in the episode 1, in the video of him building something on Mars, I think, or was it the moon? I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and watch this episode again, and I'm not going to. Really. Her daughter is actually a clone of her mother, and she's implanting her memories to her daughter so she can have her parents again, and she's out there to stop the Seventh Cavalry. And then there's the Dr. Manhattan revelation in the end, where we learn that Dr. Manhattan is actually Angela's husband. Aww. Yes. The whole point of Angela is that she's married Dr. Manhattan, who has assumed the form of a human man, of an ordinary man with no memories, this very passive dude that was in the background all along. Imagine my disappointment. Angela went from being an uninteresting character to a Mary Sue, not because of her excellent abilities and stuff, but because she's there to have relationships with everybody from the original cast, while she's a very boring character, and I hate Angela. And she's still the weaker link in this show, and they didn't manage to make anything interesting out of her. They made her even more boring and annoying. And it has nothing to do with the actress. It's all about how badly written she is, how transparent of an audience standing she is, how everything revolves around her, but she's never an actor, she's just walking along and learning stuff, and I'm not interested in a character like that. I don't know about you. You can leave a comment if you think that I'm wrong, if you really like Angela, if you think this episode was good. I think it was decent. I think it was quite well. I think this show is quite good when you don't try to compare it with the original Watchmen graphic novel, because the original graphic novel is a masterpiece. I think it's a very fun show. If it was not the Watchmen show, if it was an original IP, then I would definitely say, oh, it's interesting, it can get better on the next season or two. But Angela is still broken. And episode 7 really broke me. I think I'll do an episode 8 and 9 review when they come out, but I have little hope about it because it just tries to be very deep. It's great at moments, but something is definitely off about it. And the main character is not interesting at all. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, please leave a like. You can subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon with another video. Thank you.